At the end of the day, the reality is that a lot of startups and a lot of successful companies fail. Of course, when you go into business, failure is one of the last things that you think about. You go into business because you want to succeed and you want to grow. But the reality is that there are many statistics that show just how many startups actually fail within however many years from when they begin. By being aware of some of the main reasons that businesses fail, we can hopefully avoid these red flags on our journeys as well. So number one is poor cash flow management. You've probably heard the phrase that cash is king, and that's because good cash flow is the foundation for any strong business. In fact, even profitable businesses can fall victim to a cash flow crisis. This could be due to how you handle your debtors. So if a whole bunch of invoices come due all at once and you don't have the cash to cover it, you could find yourself in a cash flow crisis. Also, having too much inventory or stock can suck up cash, and before you can sell it, you are gonna again have invoices to pay, and you might find a cash crunch. There are also other reasons you can run into cash flow problems, such as if you send your invoices out late, if you have too much generosity in your terms, so people can, pay you in 60, 90 days, which is sometimes the standard in the industry, but the more you can bring that cash into your business, the better it's going to be. And that's where good cash flow management is key. So the next one is losing control of finances. So if we've just discussed cash and how important that is to the business, the next important factor is having some kind of record or documentation or even awareness of what the overall financial picture is of the business. This could be something like financial projections of income as well as some of your expenses, and just generally an awareness of the costs, where your major costs are in the business, as well as your revenue, which we're going to get to very shortly. The next one is planning to fail, or not having a plan or a strategy in place. Long-term planning is often one of the major success factors of any business. So a plan or a strategy might include something like market research about your competitors. What are they up to? How are they innovating? Is that something you should do? And similarly, who are your customers? What do they want, and what are they likely to do in the future? Next up is a lack of leadership. Being a good leader is something that does take practice, but it's something you can also develop. And I guess one of the key things that a good manager can do is identify some of their weaknesses. And if you can identify those weaknesses, you can start to overcome them, perhaps by outsourcing some tasks or bringing in specialist management teams. In general, good managers direct, reward, communicate. If you have a demotivated, ineffective team, this is likely to cause you business hardship and is probably counterproductive. And lastly is back to understanding that cash flow and your business financials, but it's on the revenue side, and that's understanding where your revenue comes from. And one of the key sources of business failure is an over-reliance on a few big customers. The risk is that if one of them pulls out or turns away to a different competitor, then suddenly your whole business is unviable. You can also enter into a spiral of offering the customer a discount so that they stay, but then this leads to more expectations of discounts and margin erosion, all sorts of other cash flow and profitability pressures. You can overcome this by obviously diversifying your customer base, as well as perhaps even your product line. You could even ask customers to sign a longer term contract with a fair notice period if either of you want to terminate at some point in the future. So that's a quick rundown of some of the causes of business failure. Thanks for watching. If you've enjoyed this video, check out some of my others, hit like and subscribe to help me satisfy the YouTube algorithm, and I'll see you next time.